Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Anybody new to the channel, I'm Paperboy. I'm a one-man band. I've got 40,000-ish items online between eBay, Amazon, and Etsy. I can start saying that now.
Yeah.
Work out of my house, and I have a day job.
I'm Mr. Magazine with a big warehouse, 15 employees, and 600,000-ish listings.
You don't have an exact count at this moment?
No, never.
Well, that looks like a bit of a mistake back behind us, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why does that gum look like pizza? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say mozzarella. It could be anything.
Oh, what that is. But basically, the video today is going to talk about something that so many of us don't do. Are you familiar with the expression, what the definition of insanity is?
Well, there's some people that I could say are, but let's leave it at that.
It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And the reason I bring this up is because I know somebody that does auctions, online stuff, and inevitably they screw it up. They mess up orders. They send the wrong order out to the wrong person. They invoice people for the wrong orders.
We're trying better. We're hiring new people. We're trying harder. Please, give us time.
And this happens all the time, and it's been happening for years now. And I know people that will not shop from him any longer because he inevitably will mess up the order. And the question comes at some point, why don't you learn from your mistakes? What he does is he puts the name down on a Post-it, and he, you win the order, he puts the name down on a Post-it on top of the order. Fine. He messes my orders up with another person named Dave. Maybe don't just put Dave as the name on it.
Last name, a phone number, a state, something.
Maybe don't just keep putting Dave on it if you keep messing that up.
Yeah.
If you continue to see the same problems over and over and over again, maybe the solution is, hey, I don't like having all of my customers angry at me all the time.
Yeah.
Why are they angry? Step back and say, why are they angry?
Yeah.
I know that there have been times you and we've changed a lot of things throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. Do you sell 78 records anymore?
No, but we might dust them off and try it again, but definitely not right now.
And why not?
Broken ones,
Yep.
And a lot of these collectors on eBay, they want them sound graded, so you can't just sit there and play the record all day long and figure out the imperfections. So yeah, it's not worth it at this point.
But the condition is the big issue on those because they need a special way of packing.
Right.
Well, you've learned. You're not continuing to sell them and having the customer get them broken.
Especially if they're $10, $15. If it's, even the neon sign could be $50, $100. I don't want to mess with them anymore. And sadly, Babble Heads,
I was just going to go there.
Let's say 2 out of 10 get damaged every time, no matter how hard we try to pack them, bubble wrap them. I mean, we've had Babble Heads in the original box that they're formed to the Babble Head, so they shouldn't shift around, and they still get broken. So if the post office is going to drop it, it doesn't matter what we do to it; it's going to break, and that's part of the problem. But we continue to sell Babble Heads as we buy so many of them. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game.
But even that though, you've learned the most common damage areas.
Yeah, the neck, wrap the neck, stuff like that. Yeah, and the customers will tell you how they want it packed, and you usually have the same, instructions. And the neck, bubble wrap the neck. And we do that. We try our best, but it's not perfect.
I know years ago, I sold postcards, and I had taken the postcard, I had put it into the sleeve.
Yeah.
Then I had taped the sleeve onto the cardboard backer.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the postcard shifted when it was being shipped, and got basically hit the tape. Maybe I didn't push the tape down hard enough, whatever it was. When the person opened it up, the tape did some damage to the front of the postcard. Guess what I don't do any longer?
That.
And it only took one time
Right.
for this problem to happen, and I didn't do it any longer. Now I take it and I actually use more of a longer type bag as opposed to the regular postcard holder and tape it over so it's completely contained.
Yeah.
And we're both more than willing to learn from our mistakes. We make a mistake once, we don't always change because there are some things that are just freak accidents, people that are overly picky, whatever the case happens to be.
Yeah.
Or there are other times where, I'll give you the perfect example. You get some record collectors, how do they want their records shipped?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing in my head as you were saying that. I'm trying to figure out the percentage. I would say we sell 20 records a day, 140. Say 600 a month, 700 a month we sell. Probably one collector per month would want the record taken out, put inside the exterior clear sleeve, and not inside the record, with the original sleeve, just so it doesn't press on the cover, so you don't get the cover ring.
Yep. And if a customer asks you to do that, you can do it. That's
Sure.
easy enough to do for that one customer.
Right.
And they obviously want it that way because they want to avoid damage that's happened to them. However, is it worth your time on those other 599 to go that far?
Absolutely not.
So you make the customer happy and you do it.
Yep.
The other 599 you do not. And I'll give you another perfect example. What do a few people from time to time request on sealed DVDs?
No, they actually want them taken out. Yes. Yep. So because they tend to get loose inside, then they shift around, and we can't control if it's sealed. They'd rather have it, and they're going to watch it anyway. So yeah, they prefer to have it open, put a tissue or something, bubble wrap inside it so it won't slide around. Put it in that little tab, lock it in.
Yep. But you're not going to open every sealed DVD that you sell.
Some might get mad. Some have gotten
Many
mad.
will
Yeah.
get very, very mad about that.
Yeah.
So if a customer specifically requests it, otherwise it's a cost of doing business. Right. Is there a chance that if I buy a sealed DVD from you, you ship it to me sealed, there's going to be damage?
Sure.
There's a chance.
Yep.
But that's a cost of doing business on that side of things that you accept, because you don't dare open it up without me telling you to do so and shipping it to me that way.
Yep.
But you at least are aware of it. And then if I contact you and I say, it shipped it around in there, it got damaged, you can refund me or replace it.
Right.
And you can let me know, I'm sorry that happened. It does happen regularly. Not regularly, but it does happen because you're aware that it happens.
Right.
And you can tell me, do you want me to ship the next one the same way, or do you want me to open it and do this? And I might say, open it and do it because I definitely want to watch it.
And we learned at this point, say, it's been sitting on a shelf for 2 years. It finally sells. We take it off, and now it's loose inside of a sealed box. We will then open it, but then put a note that, hey, we opened it because we didn't want it sliding around transit.
Oh, okay.
So it gives them a heads up, so they don't say, hey, what the heck's going on? And we don't ship it out where it gets even worse, so.
Right. So these are all areas where we have taken the time to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, be proactive. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially with eBay, with all their rules now. And like I said, we spoke about this before. We call up anytime there's any item in question that we may not know if we can list it or not. We definitely call up ahead of time and make sure, get the green light.
Well, I'm going to bring up a situation that you emailed me yesterday or the day before, and let's walk through it real quick and talk about what we've learned out of it. And that was it was a larger die-cast truck, I guess.
Oh, yes. The Tonka truck?
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically, tell me if I've got this right or not. Basically, what had happened is you had packed it well. However, from my reading of the emails, you did not open the flap of the box and put some kind of protection inside the box so the truck moved back and forth and hit the flap.
No, we actually did that. So this is what I think happened. Well, first of all, it was an old beat-up box, but it was still an original Tonka box. So he wanted it in the condition it was in, and say it's a 3 out of 10. Now it's a 2 out of 10, regardless. Mm-hmm. But I think it was a long one, so we put it in a long box, and I think there was a lot of room, or even a little bit of room, for it to slide back and forth or up and down.
Okay.
And I think the truck being heavy, say it was upright, pushed through the flap, and I think that caused the damage to the flap. Because we do bubble wrap the truck and then put it inside the box. I've seen my employee do that. We told him to do that because people requested that. So we did that. He bubble wrapped the truck, he bubble wrapped the box, but he did not bubble wrap the end flaps. And I think what happened was it just pushed through, and that's how the damage came.
Okay, so next time you'll make sure that there's bubble wrap on the end flaps.
Correct. Yeah,
and then that problem will not happen again.
No room for it to shift inside the boxes, inside the original box as well. Because I think that's what happened. The outer box was fine, no damage to that, but the Tonka box was damaged because it pushed through that box. Yeah.
Yep. And so I guess a lot of people, when they get a customer complaint, and we've talked about this before, a lot of it has to do with the customer as well. When the customer comes at you with all capitals and says, you're an idiot, and of course they spell your, Y-O-U-R, you're an idiot, why did you do this? it tends to cut the communication down a little bit because they're coming at you with both guns a-blazing. And it's human nature that, the hair on our back gets up as well. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean?
Right.
You've got to step back and say to them, what happened?
Yeah.
Explain to me what happened, and I'm really sorry, and we'll make this right, but I also don't want to make this mistake again.
Right.
And I know Auction Professor, a friend of the channel, has talked about, and you don't know this because you don't watch a lot of his videos unless I send it over to you, but he's mentioned a couple of times that he purchased a higher grade Weebles. He collects Weebles, or his wife does.
Yeah.
Higher grade Weebles in original box, and the person put the shipping label on the original box and shipped it out.
God. Crazy.
Don't do that,
No.
number one.
No.
So learn from that person's mistake. But it's crazy the things that people do out there, and hopefully that seller learns from that mistake, because again, I'm sure he's never said how much the cost of the item was.
Yeah.
But if it's an original Weebles from the 70s, it's not cheap. I mean, it's not a $10 item.
Yeah.
It's I have zero idea what Weebles go for. $50, $100, $200. Who even knows?
Yeah.
And to just sit there and do that is absolutely crazy.
Now, newer boxes, I will do that if it was already used to shipping, like those Hot Toys. Comes in a brown mailer. Usually the company ships them like that with their label on there.
Oh, yeah.
So we do reship them with our label over that label. So, But,
Yeah, no, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that I can see.
and no one's complained. So, but until then.
Or if you were to, and let's say you were Dave and Adams cards, and you got shipment direct from Panini,
Yeah.
and somebody bought a case from you, I see nothing wrong with putting a label over the original
Right, yeah.
Panini giant
Yeah, if that
packing
case
box.
got to you in perfect condition, it should get to the next person. In
Yeah,
perfect
what are you going to do?
condition,
Find a box? And then the other problem with that is I don't know the size of those boxes, but say it's, 16 by, or 12 by 12 by 16.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably not going to find a 13 by 13 by 17 box to put it in.
Right.
So you're going to end up putting in a much larger box in order to do it. Why? I would, the one caveat to that, of course, is let's say that you pick up an original Michael Jordan rookie year case from Fleer. A double box that.
Right. Well, when I had the second year one I sold, remember that? We double buy. We triple buy. We put a box inside it so it wouldn't crush, and then an exterior box. So really 3 boxes.
Yeah. So in that case, but if it's something, brand new stock, that kind of deal, just throw a label on it.
Sure.
But so hopefully this helps you a little bit in there. Take the time to learn from mistakes. And if you continue to see the same problems happening time and time again, and that's one thing too, you can often tell by looking at somebody's feedback.
Yeah.
If you look at somebody's feedback and you see 10 different negative feedbacks, all with the same problem,
Right.
you say to you, and again, I'm not saying that they have 10 negative feedbacks and 25,000 positives in a month. Okay, that's just, whatever. But, if they've got a couple of hundred positive feedbacks and a bunch of negative feedbacks, all with the same issue, they can very easily fix their business.
Right.
Step back and say, what is the same thing in all 10 of these negatives?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shipping late. Oh, maybe I have to stop doing that. Or if I can't do it because of my situation, I've got a day job and I live in the middle of nowhere, I have to make, let me change my shipping time to 1 week.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
let me make a big note in there saying I only ship once a week.
Right.
Make sure my customers understand my situation, because obviously you can't change your entire life around to ship stuff out.
Right.
If things happen, whatever.
Sure.
But hopefully that helps you some. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.